say we do it quickly and we don't do it quickly. You can do this scan in a few seconds, really, but because we practice, we take more time. But today we'll do it quicker. Okay, so sit comfortably. Very important to be comfortable. And before we begin, we'll do the 3 steps we done in the first half of the session. So remember, the first click, we are aware of ourselves. Second, with the earth. Third, with the other participants. Okay. So while you are feeling comfortable, be aware of yourself. Be aware of yourself. Feel yourself more globally. Tu es plus complète. And with this impression of yourself, avec cette impression de toi-même, devenu, we connect to the earth. Relié à la terre, connecté à la terre. The terre, or the earth, is not only the solid part of the earth, also the aerial part of the earth, and more. So we feel the earth around us and in us. And the third step, connect to all the other participants. We don't have to deal with it. It's our intent which counts, which holds the connection. And now we begin the scanning. And today the attitude will be a bit different. It's when we scan, we intend to allow the right way of being. If something is to change in what we are, we allow it to change so it will serve us the best. I hope I use the right words. Okay. So when we don't scan to find something, we call the right way of being to come to us. Left hand on the navel center. Right hand, top of the head. The main droite. Au-dessus la couronne. Okay, search for the crown energy if you can. And then we go down the axis. All the way down to the floor between the feet. When we get there, we pause for a few seconds to have impression of our whole body. And we come back up. All the way to the top of the head. See if you can feel the crown energy, crown center energy. Maybe you can pull it upwards a bit, and to straighten your back, pull up your vertebrae, spine. So we go back to the back of the head, and then around the head. And our intent is to allow the right way of being to serve us the best this epoch. We go around. So when we get to the back of the head, we go to the back of the neck. and we go around the neck counterclockwise. And when we get to the back, we go over the left shoulder and down to the shoulder joint. We go down the arm all the way to the tip of the fingers. Don't rush. Take your time. Do it quick, but take your time. It's like we have a rhythm. So when we get to the tip of the fingers, we pause again for several seconds to have impression of our whole body. And then we go back up. And when we get to the left shoulder again, go over it and we go down on the left side of the body, down to the waistline. And then once we are through there, we go to the right shoulder and go over the right shoulder and down the right side of the body, all the way down to the waistline. So when we're through there, we change hands. Now the right hand is on the navel and the left hand on top. And remember, our intent is to call the right way of being, to allow the right way of dealing with the world around us at this epoch. So we find the energy of the crown center, and then we can go down the axis. All the way down to the floor. So when we get to the floor, we pause again for several seconds. To have an impression of our whole body. And then we climb back up. All the way to the top of the head. And then if you can sense the crown center energy, maybe you can pull it upwards. And then continue backwards to the back of the head and around the head, clockwise. All the way, like a circle, and then we go to the back of the neck, and we go around the neck, clockwise. And once we're through, we go over the right shoulder, going down to the shoulder joint and down the arm, elbow, forearm, and wrist, hand, and fingers. And again, when we reach the tip of the fingers, we pause for several seconds to have impression of our whole body. And then we continue going up to the shoulder. So going over the shoulder, we go down the right side of the body from the right shoulder to the waistline again. It might be interesting for you to see if you're more aware of the other parts of the body, the global sensation of ourselves, in contrast to the place where you're scanning and concentrating. So when we reach the waistline, we move from there to the left shoulder again, and we go over the left shoulder. And then down the left side of the body to the waistline again. And then we change hands again. So now the left hand is on the navel again. And with the right hand, we go over from the left hip joint to the right, calling for the right way of being that will serve us best these times. Remember, the pelvis has a lot of trapped energy. So every time we move even a little bit, some of the energy, things happen. And when we reach the right hip joint, continue down the right leg to the tip of the toes. You don't have to bend down. You don't have to bend down. Just use your intent from the hand to the foot. No need to be exactly over the organ. And again, when we reach the tip of the toes, pause again for several seconds to have impression of our whole body. And we continue backwards. So when we reach the right hip joint, we can continue to the navel center again. And then we change hands again. Right hand on the navel, and with the left hand we begin on the right hip joint on the left. Remember, our intent is to have the right way of being to allow the best thing to happen now. And while moving over the pelvis, maybe you can feel other parts of the body. Just note them and just keep on moving with your hand. And from the left hip joint, we go down the leg, the left leg. Down the thigh, the knee, calf, the ankle, the foot, and the toes. Until we make it to the tip of the toes. And then we pause again and feel the whole body. We continue going up. And then when we reach the left hip joint again, and we have impression of the left hip joint, we continue to the navel center. So that both hands are on the navel now. You can leave them there, or you can put your hands on your knees if it suits you better. And have impression of your whole body, everything. And if your eyes are closed, allow them to open gently without losing the impression of yourself. And this panoramic view adds more impression to your perception. And now, while we feel ourselves, we are connected to the earth, and we have some rapport with the other participants. We ask these 4 questions without words, of course. Is my head more silent? Is my seal of emotion more calm? Is my physical body more relaxed? And the last question is, do I feel some affection? Which means, is my heart a bit more open?